Hello, everyone, and welcome. I'm Valerie Bishop, Marketing Manager at k-ecommerce. Thank you for joining today's webinar presented by Bayam IT and k-ecommerce. So I think everyone here would agree to say that from production to customer experience, every part of the product value chain needs to be optimized to control costs, boost productivity, and keep buyers happy. Today, we'll explore how manufacturing and distribution leaders can streamline operations by integrating key systems like production scheduling, product information management, and e-commerce. Feel free to drop your questions in the chat at any time. We'll have a Q&A at the end. Before we kick things off, let me introduce today's speaker. So first we have Joe Walsh, possessing 25 years of experience in product information management, software, and services. Joe helps companies bring their production to life. In his role with Bayam IT, he supports the partner and end customers with all the right strategies to succeed on their PIM journey while maximizing ERP investment. Paulina specializes in helping partners and end users optimizing operations across the entire product value chain, from innovation to production, quality, logistics, and launch. She began her journey at Netronic, advocating for visual scheduling, and now as a channel manager at Bayam IT. She empowers businesses to streamline processes and maximize their ERP investment. And with over 25 years of partner channel experience, Rich Fowler has collaborated with global partners, ISVs, and customers to build successful partnerships that drives growth and innovation. As partner channel manager at k-ecommerce, he brings expertise in channel strategy, relationship management, and business development, always focusing on mutual success. I'll leave it to you now.
Well, thank you, Valerie, for that introduction. And it's a pleasure to be on this panel today. I can maybe start by speaking to the statistics you see here on this slide. This was provided by a publication called Smart Industry that we note on the slide. And it was a survey to manufacturers done in North America and in Europe. And it was done a year ago. So it had some time to kind of settle in and sync with the population. And it shouldn't be surprising to anybody. In fact, I think that manufacturers themselves would admit to being somewhat of laggards in taking advantage of automating data and processes in their business. I think we all experience that in our day-to-day lives. Even I know I do when I'm searching through email and spreadsheets and shared file folders and maybe some private networks we have to collaborate within our own organization. Manufacturers, they haven't had to adhere to really rigid standards, say like in banking and finance, where they may be a little more advanced in how they codify their data and their practices internally. So no real surprise here. But what I learned from this survey and reading it is that the leaders in the manufacturing segment are taking this notion of organizing and structuring data and processes very serious now, because if they don't, there'll be roadblocks to taking advantage of what's coming down the pike. And we all know that AI is a lot of that, right? So if you're unable to take advantage of AI because you don't have really good structured data and ability to collaborate and analyze that data in your business, you really your laggardness will only accelerate and you'll get further left behind. So I think important data to share with the group today, and one that we'll be paying attention to go forward. Rich, maybe you have some comments as you look at this slide.
I had a couple of comments. So this to me, because I come out of the full partner ecosystem, and we deal with the ERP, and it's the integrated ERP, and all of this falls into the integrated ERP is one of the keys. And we talk about bad news. It's not all bad news. You pointed out in one of our earlier discussions, those internal data silos, those are everywhere. We all recognize those. We know we have them. And this slide talks about the 35%, but you made the point about the other 65%.
Yeah, I think that is a positive. That's a positive if folks are responding to a survey like this and saying, "Hey, no, we kind of got our act together," or it's strategic to us to organize our business around good practices and good data quality for good insights. So, yeah, you could read this, in both ways. You could say the trend is really positive, or hey, there's some folks in real trouble here that better get their act together.
And I think that's probably the message that we need to
Yeah.
talk. The internal data silos are problematic because when that data silo happens, it walks right down the chain that you see on that slide, from the hindered collaboration to the actionless insights to the no real-time data. I like the no real-time data. That's where the rubber hits the road, and we'll talk about that in a couple of minutes. But that's critical across the board. And if your ERP isn't integrated to your product information, to your e-commerce, to everything else you're doing, you could do it all right all the way through. And if it's not tied together, it all falls apart at the end. And that's I can't do that. That's just not the way it works.
So if we think about how we improve our practices in our business and improve data and connect various processes and solutions, we're going to touch on that. We're going to focus on some key domains today that are important in a manufacturing organization, namely production, quality control, launch, and what we call transact, which is that final stage where your customers interacting with your business and purchasing from you. But why don't we bring Paulina in, and maybe she can talk a little bit about the production and quality control piece, since she understands that better than we do.
Thanks. Well, I mean, we have a lot of problems when it comes to production, all the way to customer experience. And the first part is a production. So when we have delays, when we have deadlines that we're not meeting, then we're not going to make, at the end, the customer happy, which is obviously what we want to do. So we need to make sure that we can maintain consistent delivery schedules, and then also to ensure that the quality of the products is meeting the standards that we are promising. So this is what we need: something in production, something on quality control. Okay, the inspection plan to track and then release the inspection order, sorry.
Yeah, so now you've tightened up some controls there. You have more confidence in your processes, and your timing is getting better, and you now have a product. So you have something that you can physically take to market, right? And that's where the launch piece comes in. And we're seeing organizations get better at mobilizing or centralizing a lot of this data around their products. And in the launch phase, customers or manufacturers can take advantage of a product information management system. This is a central repository where you store anything and everything about your product, from a short description to a long description, to all the attribute information, to images, specifications. You're building data models that stitches this all together and builds in the relationships, so you can then take that data out to market and transact with your customers. Rich, I've queued you up.
There you go. The transact with your customers. And Valerie said it in the intro. You need to keep buyers happy. And we've got multiple buyers in this process. So you've got the buyers that are internal, the production people, the quality control people that say, here's this fabulous product. We're ready to launch it. We've put all of this information into it. It's got the PIM in place. And how do we get it to the customer? So the first buyer is, how do we get it to the customer? That's the first one, the customer experience from the production side, the launch team ready to go. The second one, and the actual customer experience, is how does the end user get to that information that's all been queued up and beautified and ready to go from the product information side? How do we get it out to the customer? And that's where we come in with the e-commerce platform. The last thing you want is to do all of this work in those first three steps and then get to the e-commerce platform and the customer can't find what they need, or the inventory isn't tied to the ERP and we can't tell if it's going to get there in time or not, or my pricing is wrong, or I go through a distributor and my distributor doesn't have the right pricing, or all the things that can come into play. That's where your e-commerce platform, specifically from k-ecommerce, whether it's business to business or business to consumer or direct to consumer, however that may be, you've got multiple customers in that experience. Each one has to have a very personalized, very specific experience so that they can get through and you don't lose sales, you don't have errors, you don't have wasted time, no matter which channel you're coming through, to be able to get that product into the end user's hand. Because we're all in the same boat. We're trying to sell the product that we just produced.
So then, after a lot of thinking, getting together internally as our company, and then realizing we needed more than just us, that's when we invited k-ecommerce, because we realized that the solution would be a connected product value chain. So from our side, like from Joe and I at Boyum IT, we realized that, hey, it's not only production, quality, and launch. We need more. We need these extras. Then we got to this part. So then we believe the solution would be, as we say, a connected product value chain where we integrate all the solutions to have the production, from production to the customer experience, to a streamlined operations and then drive growth. So we can connect it, all these parts, but more than anything, create a seamless flow for the information that enhances the efficiency and the accuracy throughout the entire product journey. Anything you want to add, guys? That one?
It says it all. Yeah, thank you.
Perfect. Then we came up with this bingo because we realized that a lot of challenges are recurrent. So whenever we talk with our customer, nothing is really new to us when they mention what issues you're having. So we come up with this. And I think it's very easy to recognize the things that you're maybe struggling with. And we color them, so it's easier to recognize who you would need to talk to in the end. But this would be an easy way to just kind of read them through and be like, well, that's what I have. And now you know that there's a solution for it. There's someone to talk to and then someone that can help you with this. So
everybody has their visual bingo card
yes,
that they can X off and diagnose their business problems.
We can share that in the end as well, so that we get feedback on it.
Yeah.
So then for Netronic manufacturing, we came up with this ones. These are the most common answers that I get whenever I'm asking partners, like, why are you searching for visual scheduling? Why are you searching for a shop floor management system or for quality control? And it's always similar. Overloaded machines, they have idle times, they have rush orders, absent employees. The work centers or machine centers have bottlenecks, the longer time runs. So the time that they plan for is sometimes longer than expected. And then we have to like reevaluate everything. We don't have the material that we need. The machines need repairs. And then we, again, need to reschedule things. We have sometimes mixed priorities. We plan for something and then they tell us, oh, this is actually the priority. So we have to change a lot. Or we have machine repairs, I mentioned that one, and late production starts. So we have a plan for something, anything happens, and that's postponed. So then how to get through all of this would be with a visual scheduling. That would be the best part of it. So then at Boyum, we have this kind of group of products that we call Netronic manufacturing. And our goal is to optimize the production with scheduling and with quality control. So with scheduling and quality control. The scheduling part starts with the production. So for the production, we have two products that we call schedule and produce. Schedule is going to help you with the visual scheduling to optimize the processes, to ensure that you have the materials, that you have the machines available and the labor, so everything can be scheduled efficiently. We can prevent the bottlenecks, and of course, our goal would be to increase the on-time deliveries. On-time deliveries means happy customers. Then produce will let you start and stop the operations and then collect the times and materials to go paperless and to avoid typing errors. So you're sure you're making what you need to do, and you're going to have a better tracking of where things are happening. And then for quality, in the end, you're going to get the inspection orders to review the quality of the products that you want to make. So you get everything as expected, as planned, and then delivered. So that would be production and quality control that help you optimize your production plans. Thanks.
So now you're looking at the product information management bingo card, right? So we've detailed some common problems in a business that product information management can help you overcome. If I kind of start from the right side of the bingo card and look at data silos, that I think we all can relate to what that means, where there's disparate data in different places, and you end up going to too many places to pull something together and make sure that it's accurate and current and relevant to the market. The more siloed your product data is, the slower to market you are. And I have that as an issue in the bingo card down in the lower left. I would say the number one issue manufacturers are trying to resolve right now is very much that issue, is how do we get our products to market faster? The longer it takes, the more risk there is that the product it never gets sold, or it becomes less valued in the market, and maybe they're not getting the price they wish for the product. When there's siloed data, we see high product return rates because data's wrong. There's errors in the product data. So if somebody's searching online, perhaps, or some mechanism, maybe it's a PDF spec sheet, and there's an error in the data, but yet they go ahead and they process an order for it. They realize it's not what they had expected. So a product gets returned. We're seeing companies rely too much on their ERP data to send to market to help their customers make business buying decisions. There's a little bit of risk there because we know ERP data traditionally is quite thin and doesn't tell the full story of a product. And often we see customers kind of trying to over-engineer their ERP system to accommodate rich product data. So that's that left box on the bingo card, top left there. We could talk about compliance too. So there's a lot of pressure on manufacturers to meet compliance. And if they're not capturing that in a system that is current, that can be an issue and spill out into the market and create some problems. And then lastly, having a good portrait of your product, a good image of your product matters. People want to look and see at what they're procuring and make sure that it's going to fit the application needs that they have in their business. So these are the common problems that product information management solves. If you're centralizing product data, you're adding workflows where people have good visibility and know where they need to participate in a step to get product to the transact stage that Rich will talk about. And here's just a quick kind of commercial for the Perfion PIM application. Again, centralizing product data, getting clean, well-structured information that you can send to your channels, namely an e-commerce platform like k-ecommerce.
And that sounded like a definite segue. So we'll take that. Although now you notice I have fewer squares here than the first two, but I think we could have claimed some of the ones off the Perfion because we do, and we work in conjunction, and that's the fun part of it. So you talk about the thin data in a bloated ERP. We hear that a lot. So if we'll put that on the left side because yes, that's the bloated ERP usually means it's a cost thing as well as an experience thing, because with the bloated ERP, you have to buy more user licenses. Certain people only have access to certain things, all those things that we solve with this value chain that we're talking about here. So we don't have to have that if we're using the product information and an appropriate k-ecommerce system. The other thing was the image quality. That hits home so much when you talk about poor image quality or no image quality. Just think about your own experiences when you're wandering through trying to buy something. You see something that has a picture and a description that is decent, and then you may see its competitor that has no picture and has maybe the same description. If that's the difference, 99 times out of 100, you're buying the one that has the picture. And the only difference was you didn't take a picture of the stupid product. So come on, let's make sure we can do this. The other one, now we talked about the ERP is a big one for us. We try to keep people out of spending $1 million on their ERP if they can help it, especially when this value chain can fix that. As we look at this bingo card specifically, when you play bingo, you play for the diagonals, you play for the corners. So we'll start with the one in the bottom corner. Poor search and navigation, thinking about your own experience again. If you can't find what you're looking for, you've lost the order. And that's what we're trying to prevent. So you've got to have a clean, crisp, accurate search and navigation. If you're tying your e-commerce in with your product information management, now you can use all of those keywords and use all of the things that the PIM is bringing over, and it's exposed, exposed to the customer. Once we get there, then we start thinking about the things that are specific to multi-channel or omni-channel buying processes. So we talk about multi-channel and omni-channel. Business to business is where most manufacturers live. They sell to distributors. Some may sell directly to end users as well, but a lot of times they're selling to a distribution network. And that distribution network may have a different set of pricing than a direct to consumer price set, or just different distributors may have different pricing for different product lines and different catalogs. So you've got to be able to sort those things out, give them the pricing and selection of inventory options. So that's right underneath the free space, the limited pricing options. You've got to expose all the options that they have, because those distributors know, I get special pricing, I get this catalog, I get these products, I get all of this. And if they don't, they're going to go to your competitor. So we don't want to lose the order. So we've got to have that out there. The real-time inventory, we've talked about the ERP many times. Why keep inventory in 2, 3, 4, 5 different places when we're going to read it directly out of the ERP? That's where your accurate, one throat to choke, one source of truth resides. So the real-time inventory, read it directly out of there, which is what we do. And then again, thinking of your own experience, if I'm looking at 2 products from 2 different people or places, as these people have it, I can see it, I can see an accurate description, and I can tell that I have it in stock. Or I'm looking at the other one that I don't see a picture, I see the same description, and I can't tell if it's in stock. Which one are they going with? I think we all know the answer to that. The manual process is another one specific to the multi-channel and the business to business. We can worry about human error. We can all understand what that is, but the more we can minimize that, the more we can take that error out of the process and automate. And automate sometimes a scary word for people. It doesn't need to be. When we talk about automating a process, that can be something as simple as giving a theater manager a spreadsheet of the things that they may order on a weekly basis. They fill out the spreadsheet as they go, and boom, pop it into the e-commerce platform. It produces the order and goes from there. It can be much more complex than that too, if you like. There are reorder points. We can have, reorder suggestions. We can have do your last order. We can have all the things that make their life easier. We can suggest products as we think about AI. Then we can start telling it to, if they're buying a hot dog, they're going to need to buy hot dog buns. They're also going to need to buy ketchup and mustard and relish and all those other things. And then they're going to need napkins and plates and all the things that they may or may not remember. And we can help them with that. And then once they've purchased it, then we can make it easy to repurchase and go over and over again. The thing that sticks out to us is that 75% of all business to business buyers would rather a second order be an automated or electronic process versus going through a salesperson or a distributor person. First one, they may need help with. So you need to have that live touch in the distribution channel for that first order. But once you've got them up and rolling, 75% of them want to go ahead and just go online and get it done. Make it easy, make it accurate. Then we talk about things like payment profiles and payment options. Can they pay on account? Do they have to use a credit card? Do they use a corporate credit card? Do they have terms? Do they, all of those questions that, well, frankly, the little e-commerce stuff can't handle. The stuff that's designed for business to consumer that you have to put your credit card in, or otherwise you can't buy what you're doing. That's direct to consumer. That's not that. Just manufacturers don't work that way. So they have to have that in some of it, but they can't have it as their only option because you're not buying 5,000 feet of pipe and 5,000 fittings on your credit card. So we are the final link in that chain. We are the customer experience. We're the one that connects all of that to the customer, whether that customer be the distributor network, or the end user. We're the ones that pull all of that together and make sure that the experience is as seamless, as flawless, and as errorless as it can be, so that it goes through the chain we just talked about, from the product through the optimization to the customer, slick and easy. And this is just kind of a visual of the whole thing. So your ERP system, the integration is key. And that's one of the things that we push very hard. You've got to be integrated to your ERP system to let it do the heavy lifting, but you don't want the bloated ERP and you don't want the thin data in the ERP. So we can take care of both of those things with what we're talking about today between PIM and e-commerce. But from scheduling through e-commerce, it's all there. It all ties to the ERP, and the whole goal is to make sure the customer gets the order placed.
I can weigh in here. Just Paulina,
sorry.
please.
Yeah, this would be like the easiest way to put it together into one slide. So how the three tools combine are into one ecosystem. So then we try to like optimize everything from production to customer experience, and then show you exactly in which parts you can use each of the products. So at Netronic Manufacturing, we help you with the production and with the quality. Then the information and everything goes to Perfion, and Perfion helps you with the production, with the product data management, and with feeding the e-commerce for the launch and the transact. And then again, information flows through to the key e-commerce, where you have the again, launch, transact, but in a different part, because we are talking about the B2B storefront, sales and orders, self-service and reordering from the customer experience, as well as the reordering. So it's like a workflow. It's like a wave.
And I'll jump in before we hit this last slide. So we've talked about multiple things, and Paulina's talked about a couple of, well, you can leave it on that one, doesn't matter. But you see the three different products at the top. The thing that ties all of those products together, if you remember the very first slide that we hit, the three of us, we all have the title of partner channel something. So our partners are the key, and every customer has a partner. So make sure that your partner is part of the process, and we can help you with your partner. We work with the partner channel. We want to make sure that everybody's happy. We have multiple stakeholders in this. It is the end user, it is the product, and it is the partner. And the whole goal from everybody is to make sure that the manufacturer gets the product to the customer's hands.
Well said. Now I think it's time to talk about the future a little bit. Our organizations will be teaming up at Directions next month. That is a big industry conference where the Microsoft partner convenes and the ISV community convenes as well. So we'll be there with a big event. We're going to have folks attend Top Golf and eat pizza, drink beer, and hit a golf ball. So should be a lot of fun. Folks can see the information here and perhaps join us and register.
All right, so now it's question time. So far, I don't have nothing in the chat, but we can wait a few seconds. In the meantime, I wanted to thank you, Paulina, Joe, and Rich. It was really interesting to see all those solutions and how they all complete each other. So that's great to see the collaborations between ISVs in the industry.
And if people are shy, let them be shy. You're welcome to, we've got all of our email there. You're welcome to email all of us. There's chat associated with this. Let us know if there are questions, if you'd like to talk more about how we can help you. We're in this together. We want to get product in customers' hands. So let us know how we can help.
Exactly. And I'll be sending the recording as well with, I'll have everyone's information in that email. So feel free to reach out to either of Joe, Paulina, or Rich. So we don't have any questions. I think we can wrap it up. Thanks again, everyone, for joining us, and I hope you enjoyed the rest of your day.
Thank you for your time.
Have a good day.
Take care.